Derinkuyu Underground City. A city buried on purpose, built to hide 20,000 people for centuries. With air systems, food storage, escape tunnels, and sealed stone doors that modern engineers still struggle to explain. They didn't build this city to live in. They built it to hide. 20,000 people disappeared underground, and no one knows what they were running from. They didn't find this city by searching for it. They found it by accident. A man was renovating his house when the wall collapsed, revealing a dark tunnel leading deep underground. What he uncovered next would rewrite everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. This was not a cave. This was not a shelter. This was a fully engineered underground city, carved directly into solid rock, stretching dozens of meters below the surface. A city capable of housing more than 20,000 people in complete secrecy. The deeper archaeologists went, the more disturbing the discovery became. Living quarters, food storage rooms, water wells, ventilation shafts that still work today, schools, religious chambers, and massive stone doors designed to seal entire sections from intruders. This city was not temporary. It was not built in a hurry. It was planned, engineered, optimized. Every tunnel was narrow on purpose. Every corner forced intruders to slow down. Every entrance could be sealed with a single rolling stone weighing hundreds of kilograms. The question is not how they built it. The question is why. Who were they hiding from? Historians believe this city was used for centuries. Not days, not months, centuries. Entire generations lived, grew, studied, prayed, and died underground without seeing the sun. Children were born underground. People fell in love underground. Entire lives passed without ever returning to the surface. The ventilation system alone defies explanation. More than 50 vertical shafts supplied fresh air to every level of the city. Even today, standing at the deepest level, you can feel air moving. Modern engineers admit something uncomfortable. Designing a system like this without modern tools, without electricity, without advanced mathematics, should not have been possible. Yet it exists. Food was stored in sealed chambers designed to keep supplies fresh for years. Water came from protected wells that could not be poisoned from the surface. Waste systems prevented disease from spreading. This was not survival. This was sustainability. Some chambers appear to have been sealed permanently. Others show signs of sudden abandonment. No written records explain when people entered. No records explain why they left. There are no mass graves, no signs of battle, no clear evidence of catastrophe. It's as if they simply vanished. One theory suggests invasions. Another suggests climate disaster. Others believe something far darker forced people underground. Ancient texts speak of enemies that came from the sky, of fires that destroyed cities, of plagues that wiped out entire populations. But there is no proof, only silence. What we do know is this: these people prepared for something long-term, something terrifying enough to abandon the surface world entirely. And here is the most disturbing part. This city is not unique. Dozens of underground cities exist beneath the same region. Some are connected. Others are sealed. Many remain unexplored. Which means this was not an experiment. It was a strategy, a civilization planned to disappear. What would force an entire population to hide underground for centuries? What knowledge did they have that we don't? And what made them believe the surface was no longer safe? Even today, parts of this underground world remain closed to the public. Not because they are unstable, but because no one knows what lies beyond sealed stone doors that haven't been opened for thousands of years. Sometimes, history doesn't disappear. It hides, and sometimes, it hides for a reason. What if Derinkuyu was not the first underground city? What if this was only one piece of something much bigger? Beneath the same region, archaeologists have discovered dozens of sealed underground cities. Some are connected by long tunnels. Others remain completely closed. No one knows what is behind their stone doors. What if these cities were part of a network? A system designed to hide an entire civilization? And what if they were not hiding from war, but from something that no longer exists today? In the next story, we will go deeper into an underground city even larger than Derinkuyu, a place with hidden passages, unknown symbols, and sealed chambers that were never meant to be opened. Because sometimes, the most terrifying secrets in history are not buried in the past. They are buried beneath our feet. They did not dig randomly. Every level of this underground city followed a clear plan. The deepest levels were not living areas. They were storage zones, food reserves, water access points, emergency chambers designed for long-term isolation. This tells us something important. The builders were not thinking about weeks. They were thinking about years, maybe decades, maybe longer. The city descends more than 10 levels underground. Each level served a specific purpose. Upper levels were for daily life. Lower levels were for survival. And the deepest levels were for situations no one wanted to imagine. The entrances were deliberately hidden. From the surface, nothing suggested a city below. Homes, fields, normal villages. But beneath them, a different world existed. A world designed to disappear. One of the most overlooked aspects of Derinkuyu is sound. The tunnels absorb noise. Voices fade quickly. Footsteps disappear. This was intentional. If enemies entered, they would not hear where people were hiding. The city itself protected its inhabitants. Lighting came from oil lamps placed in carved niches. The walls show burn marks from centuries of use, which means people did not just hide here once. They returned again, and again, and again. Some families likely knew no other home. The schools, found underground, suggest children were educated here. They learned to read, to count, to pray, to survive in darkness. Religion played a major role. Large chambers were clearly used for worship. Faith mattered underground, because when people lose the sky, they search for meaning elsewhere. Time behaves differently underground. No sunrise, no sunset. Days blur together. This would have required strict organization, schedules, rules, leadership. Derinkuyu was not chaos. It was order. The stone doors deserve special attention. Each door could seal off an entire corridor, only opened from the inside. Each weighed hundreds of kilograms, yet could be rolled by a single person. Perfect engineering. Simple, effective, deadly for intruders. If attackers breached one level, the next could still survive. This city was built with failure in mind, with invasion expected, with loss accepted, and survival prioritized. Some tunnels slope upward, others downward. This disorients anyone unfamiliar with the city. Residents knew every turn, every trap, every escape route. Invaders would panic. Darkness, low ceilings, no air, no sound. Derinkuyu itself was a weapon. The ventilation shafts were more than air passages. Some doubled as wells, others as communication routes. Knocking signals could travel between levels. Warnings could spread without words. The city could react as one organism. Food storage rooms were sealed with stone lids. Grain, dried vegetables, preserved foods, enough to last months, possibly years. Evidence suggests livestock was kept underground temporarily, which means this was not only human survival. It was total ecosystem planning. Waste management was advanced. Channels directed waste away from living areas, preventing disease, preventing contamination. Modern sanitation principles existed here, thousands of years ago. This should not surprise us, but it does, because it challenges what we think ancient people were capable of. No metal tools capable of drilling rock efficiently, no electricity, no modern surveying equipment, yet the levels align, the shafts connect, the city breathes, and it still works. Some chambers are eerily empty. No artifacts, no markings, as if they were cleared in a hurry. Others appear untouched, frozen in time. Archaeologists disagree on timelines. Some date early construction thousands of years ago. Others believe expansions continued over centuries, meaning this city evolved, improved, adapted, just like a living civilization. Why expand underground instead of rebuilding above? That question haunts researchers. Because going underground is not easy. It is not comfortable. It is not natural. Unless the surface is worse. Some believe Derinkuyu was used during repeated invasions. Others believe climate instability forced people below. But none of these fully explain the scale, the preparation, the permanence. There are no victory records, no monuments celebrating return to the surface, which suggests something else. Perhaps they did not know when it would be safe again. Perhaps they feared something cyclical, something that returned, something remembered through stories rather than records. Ancient myths speak of dark ages, of skies that burned, of days without sun, of enemies that could not be fought, only avoided. Could Derinkuyu be a response to such events? We cannot say. But the silence is loud. The lack of explanation is unsettling. And the existence of dozens of similar cities nearby makes it impossible to ignore. This was not a local solution. It was a regional strategy. An entire culture prepared to vanish underground. And they succeeded. Because centuries later, their city still hides beneath our feet, waiting.